So we about to get this interview cracking. Today we got Alec, aka Mindoff, in the building. If you could just let him know what's up, let him know who you are and what you do.
I'm Mindoff. I'm a producer / engineer based in Ventura, California, and I'm recording a lot of the 805 artists that are coming up right now.
That's right. That's right. All right. So let's crack it off by telling people, where you're from. Born, raised, all that. Let them know what's good.
I grew up in Thousand Oaks, California, in the 805, in the suburbs. Grew up in Thousand Oaks, and then when I went to college at CSU-CI, that's when I moved to Oxnard. And so I was there for about 2 years, and then when I was ready for production school in Burbank, going out to school in LA, but living in Oxnard and making that drive up and down the California coast.
And you said LA school. What kind of school were you there for?
That was Icon Collective. It's a school based in Burbank, northern Hollywood. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a production school, mostly electronic music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel you, but it was like music based and stuff.
Yeah, so Icon, it's an interesting school because it's a little bit more focused on like artist development rather than like LA recording school where they just like focus on teaching you the techniques.
Right.
You still get all that education, but they also focus on production and songwriting and things like that.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, it was honestly one of the best experiences I've ever had as far as my education goes.
How long were you there for?
That one was just 1 year.
Okay.
1 year, 25,000. Work your ass off.
Damn.
In and out. I was working one full-time job, one part-time job, and just trying to make it work. I think I was sweeping like 4 hours a week, or 4 hours every weekday. Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about Record X Studios? Just give us a little 411 on that.
Yeah. So I had just graduated from my production school in Burbank. And then I got offered a job as a manager at the YMCA in Thousand Oaks. And it was a little bit more money than what I was making. I was like, okay, I'll do it. And it was awful. It was probably one of the worst jobs I've ever had.
Oh, shit.
It was something about, before I was working jobs to make money to pay for school where I was studying music. Right. And so there was like a means to an end.
Yeah.
But at that point, I had graduated from my music school. And then I'm offered a job that has nothing to do with music. It was one of the worst jobs I ever had, just because, like when you go from studying music all the time and then working part-time jobs to going to this being your full-time job, like they really expect that to be your life. They really expect that to be this is your life. When you go home at 5 p.m., you can do what you want. And it was soul crushing. It was just like truly, truly just a depressing environment to be living in every day. I'm
not going to lie. I know exactly what that feeling is. I'm not even going to lie. I know exactly what you're talking about. So how'd you end up from there at Record X? So
what happened was my girlfriend at the time, she's like, she knew how sad I was. I was just like, I think 4 months in, like my it was visible how it was taking a toll on me. And she's like, you gotta apply, you gotta start branching out, applying to a bunch of different places. So I applied to like every single studio, like in a 50-mile radius. I'll take anything. And I was fully expecting to be a bitch, like just getting coffee for people, working my way up, And one of the places I applied at was Record X Studios in Ventura. And they called me back a week later, and they said they needed an engineer. And I couldn't believe my luck. I was amazed. I was like, and I got to quit my job and start working there.
I want to cut this off a little bit real quick because I want to talk about, because I don't feel like I kind of let the people know how I'm fucking with you right now. If you guys don't know, Mindoff Music records for a lot of the 805 artists right now. A lot of them. Top-notch quality. I have so many people that I filmed for that get recorded by him. And we just kept running into each other randomly. Randomly, whether it was shooting a video at the studio. They'll book some studio time and then we'll pull up, and that's how I met you. And then like there's a few times where you actually caught me slipping, like out in the field while I was recording. You know what? Like Mindoff Music, like you guys gotta fuck with them. Like I definitely fuck with his production, and you guys, you just gotta give him a shot. Like, you gotta fuck with Mindoff music. That's all I'm gonna say. Fuck with him.
Let's go.
All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so how did you get to link up with so many artists coming out of the 805? Like, how did that happen? You guys got like some sort of momentum right now going. I'm sure it didn't happen overnight. Can you talk to us a little bit about how that came about?
So I got my job at Record X Studios, and at the time, they had a solid foundation, but I think because of other jobs that they had, they were not taking a lot of people at the time. And so they really needed an engineer that was going to just throw themselves in there, take everything that they can get, and work hard. And so there I was. I had a few clients that, you know, they had previously, and then we're getting the occasional random client, you know, that comes from time to time. And I would say, I think the turning point obviously was when Jamie came in.
Okay. Yeah.
So Jamie, she's a big artist. She's great.
Shout out to Jamie.
Shout out to Jamie, an amazing artist. She came in. We really fucked with each other. You know, she had a great work ethic. She liked the way that it was sounding, and so we recorded a lot of her songs. And through her, I met Andrew through Underground Magazine.
Got you.
And so this kind of opened up the doors to a lot of the 805. Whereas previously, you know, we had kind of just like the pre-existing clientele.
Right.
And gave us just a little bit of clout, you know, just a little bit of like
momentum.
Yeah. And so once Jamie came in, and then the Underground wanted to do a page about us and do a page about me, is when we started getting a lot more eyes and a lot more people curious to come in.
That's right. You know.
Yeah. And through Jamie, I met Leo the Fool. Trouble Kid.
Shout out Leo.
All the 5-2 mob.
Shout out everybody.
That's right. Slump Boys. And so it was. I would say if I had to credit like the domino effect to anybody, it was definitely, I think, Jamie coming through and giving us a shot.
I think that's real fucking cool. I had no idea. Like, that's how everything played out. That's right. That's what's up right there. Okay, so I want to move on to the next question. And you being an engineer, you know, you being behind the scenes of these artists and all these tracks, I want to ask you, what is it that you feel makes a good engineer? What is it?
It's a lot of things. I would say it's a combination of like human psychology. You really got to have that empathy to like know like how hard you can push somebody when someone's uncomfortable, and pushing them anymore can make them close up. Right, so there's a very delicate balance of that going on.
All right, you're getting deep with it.
Yeah,
you're getting deep with it.
I mean, artist psychology is a big part of production,
Definitely.
Big part of recording, because you know, people can, especially when they're on the mic, they can close up if they feel like that they're inferior or not doing well. You know, so it's very important. You got to gas them up, but you also got to be able to give them feedback too.
Right.
So it's a very delicate balance.
So I think this has to do with the levels that they're at, right? Because every artist is at a different level.
Sure. Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I think that has to do with that, right?
Yeah. And so you have people that come in, they've been doing it for years, and they're like confident, ready to go, and you can give them all kinds of feedback, right?
Right.
So there's someone like T. Shahid. He's a local guy, amazing singer, amazing artist. He's ready to push himself, and I can give him all the feedback in the world, and he's ready for it. But then we have other artists that maybe they're brand new, you know, and they might be intimidated by being in a studio and might be a little out of their element. And so you have to be careful about how much you push them. And it's striking that balance with people like that. And honestly, when I first got my job at Record X Studios, mixing was not my #1 skill.
What do you mean? Well, what do you mean? Hold on, time out. Well, how many steps is there to it? Like recording, mixing? I know there's recording, mixing, mastering. Is there anything that I'm missing, or is there more?
Right. Well, see, so at Record X Studios, we do it all, you know, for the most part, other than write the song for you, you know, and even there, I might help you a little bit if you need some help. But like, you know, if you go to LA and you got a big record deal, there's going to be tons of hands in the pie. There's going to be the recording engineer. There might be a mixing engineer, a mastering engineer, a producer that's making the beat, you know, picking the artists and things like that. And the mastering stage is fun. I interned at Sony at this place called Bakery Mastering.
Yeah.
Being strictly a mastering engineer is really fun because people are always happy. because it's the end of the project. You're just making it, just putting on that little extra sauce on there.
Spicing it up.
That's
quick,
right.
You know?
And people are happy. The project's done. As long as you do a good job, they're gonna be happy.
I had no idea there was so much to it, but now you guys know. You know, engineers don't just you don't just pull up, record, mix, and that's it. It's a wrap. There's a bunch of steps to it. You know, there's a lot of shit to it. There's a lot of work to this. There's a lot of work behind the music, period.
Of course,
you know, people do not understand. Like, people that are not in the field of music do not understand that there's so much work that goes into making music.
Right.
And being an engineer is step one. Like, that's where you go and drop all your shit.
Right.
You know, there's so much more steps after that. You know, that's another conversation right there.
Yeah, and even things like recording engineer, the person that's actually recording, like, that's a lot of technical know-how, but you should have a pretty firm basis in songwriting and song structure, because a lot of the times as a recording engineer, you're going to be like, hey, that bar right there, like, maybe there's too many syllables. Maybe try this phrase. You know, maybe there's not enough syllables. Maybe you need to fit in another, especially in rap and hip hop, especially for a beginner, you know, where they might not be filling the space well or not filling it enough. So there's all kinds of things that overlap, and a lot of technical as well as songwriting know-how that goes into it.
I like that you guys give feedback like that, you know, because I've been to places where it's just like, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm just going to record you and that's it. It's a wrap. Goodbye. You know, so I really fuck with the fact that you guys give feedback like that. So let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next question. So we were talking earlier, and you mentioned to me that, you know, you've been turning up lately a little bit and everything, and you've been running into these artists, you know, out in the field and shit. You know, how is it running into these artists out there, you know, the clubs or whatever it is? You know, can you talk to us a little bit about your experiences?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's like one of the more fun things of the job is going and supporting your artists. You know, I think that's really important. You know, if you can, you got the time, you should definitely go and check out the shows and stuff like that.
That's
and
right.
I would definitely say Chinaland. I have a lot of my clients going performing there.
Chinaland.
Yeah,
Shit.
Chinaland's fun.
Plenty stories of Chinaland, no lie.
Hell yeah, yeah. I've been going there. I've never been there. It was like I've been there for like 3 times now. From the last month, I've been going like almost every weekend, and I'll check out like Makai the Great is there.
That's right.
Mo, Simone Collins is there.
Are these people that you record? Or?
Yeah. I record Makai the Great. I record Mo.
How does it feel like seeing these guys?
It's awesome.
Yeah, performing out there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
They're performing
Mo.
and you're like, fuck, I recorded this track.
Yeah. I mean, Mo, like we literally recorded the song like a day before, and then she's up there performing it the next day. She killed that shit. It was awesome.
Probably felt like proud and shit.
Hell yeah. It's good. Always good to see your artists doing their thing.
Yeah.
And then T Shahid, he's been performing there. He's one of the most talented people I've ever worked with.
Oh damn.
Yeah, he's really
rapper, singer.
He's like an R&B singer. You know, like to the core.
I haven't heard of him. So
he's incredible. He's incredible.
Oh,
honestly, one of the best tones of the 805. Just really, really, really good at their craft. One of the most experienced like vocal artists I've ever worked with. Yeah.
That's what's up. Like coming from you, like I'm definitely gonna check that shit out. Like,
absolutely.
He has any music videos out yet or not?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Hey, if you don't, what up?
I will say.
Filmz.
That's right. Yeah, you should hit him up because he just one of the last songs we recorded was God, it was a Money Long cover. I forget the name of the song. Something about time.
All right.
It was a Money Long cover, and he covered it, and Money Long she reposted it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
She shouted him out. It was awesome to see.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's fucking cool.
I'm expecting big things from T Shahid. Big things from T Shahid.
There you go. You hear that? There you go.
Yeah.
Have you had any negative experiences running into artists that you fuck with?
Oh
like
no.
How these would like be fucking like
No, I don't. I mean, there is some like beefs that will be happening here and there.
Yeah.
And I try to respect that. I like to tell everybody that like the studio is a place of art.
Of course,
it's neutral territory.
Yeah.
You are here to do art. If you want to like, you know, lash out in the studio in an artistic way, that's totally fine. You know, as long as it's constructive and you're not literally doing it in a destructive way, if that makes sense.
I love that.
You know, so I support constructive retaliation. I don't support deconstructive retaliation.
Of course. I mean, you do have a lot of people running in your studio, you know,
right.
So I could only imagine people running into. I'm pretty sure it has happened in the past.
It has. I have to be mindful of that sometimes. I have to be mindful of who's coming in, who's coming out, because I don't. Especially if there's a beef going on, I cannot have them running into each other. So that's definitely something that I keep in mind.
Especially like that fucking concert that just happened. You know, they got all kinds of people from different neighborhoods and just beef with each other, and you can't be having that. Like you just can't. So.
Yeah. And it's sad, but it's, you know, it's the way things are, and all I can do is hope that maybe like by providing an outlet that is through, you know, artistic means, that it would reduce like the amount of retaliation that's done through physical.
Well, let's keep it moving. I want to talk about studio sessions. We all know, everybody knows, this ain't no secret, you know. When people be hitting the studio, that's when everybody be getting turned up. You know, everybody knows that.
This is true.
So let's talk about some turn up moments that we had at the studio. You know, some. I'm sure you got a story or two. So let's hear it.
Yeah, I would say maybe my first experiences. I'm not kidding. It was literally like my 6th session, like something like.
Oh shit! So you were fresh in the game.
You were fresh in the game. Freshman fucking engineer.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna name names, but I had 2 clients come in, and they were on perks.
Oh shit!
One of them was doing just fine, having a great time, and his buddy comes into the studio, sits down in the chair at the lobby, and is laying back like this, like staring at the wall, like almost unconscious, and just burping. Like it was a perk burps. And I'm like, okay. And I can see him in the security camera. And then my other client comes in. He's ready to record, and we go, and we're about to start. And I'm looking in the camera, and I see his friend just unconscious, just burping. Like not doing well.
I'll call 911 already.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I'm like, hey, bro, like, your friend doesn't look like he's doing too good.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I mean, he doesn't look like he's okay. And he's like, hold on. He walks out, and I see this all happen in the security camera. He walks out, and he walks right up to him, and he's like, hey, and he looks at him, and he just slaps him across the face as hard as I've ever seen somebody slap another person. And the guy wakes up, he's like, hey man, he's like, you need to be mindful where you're at. And he goes back in, he's like, okay, we're good. It's like, god damn, bro. Okay, all right, it's this kind of session. Let's go. And he went on, recorded a great song. His friend was okay. I was watching in the security camera, but it was quite the session, bro. I didn't know if I was gonna have to call the cops or what, but luckily not.
Okay. All right, so let's keep it moving. Mindoff, what kind of music do you fuck with?
Personally, like I love hip hop. Hip hop's great. I record a lot of hip hop. Record a lot of R&B. I love alt R&B. Like I'll listen to that outside of the studio and stuff like that. But I have to say, like my roots aren't, maybe not my roots, but my early inclinations to music were in EDM. And going to a club and going to a rave and listening to just really good house music, there's just nothing compares. It's just, the energy is crazy. It's just dance centered. I am a raver, bro.
Turning up, you're a raver?
Because before, like when I first started music when I was 18, I got my first guitar. I said, Mom, like I really want to learn a guitar. I can't swim anymore. Like, help me out here. And she took me. She's like, okay, if you get your first job, I'll get you a guitar. And so I got a guitar. And for about a year and a half, I was learning guitar and playing guitar. And then my friends are like, bros, you gotta hear this like house music like at a fucking rave. You gotta go rave with us. You gotta go pop Molly and go to the fucking festival. And I was like, I don't know, I don't like that shit. It's just like so like ugh. And finally they convinced me, and then I went and I popped Molly, and it was incredible, just incredible. I was at Coachella. It was just amazing. And I honestly, before that, like when I was younger, dancing to me was like kind of like scary. Like you kind of have to like, you know, loosen up. And I was a very quiet and introverted person before that. But at a festival, you're just like surrounded by a sea of people. Like no one gives a fuck. No one, and it was so fun. It was just incredible. And that music is like EDM live. It's just like 10 times better. You know, like the fidelity of it is just like with huge speakers, just so clean and so big, and it's just engineered for people to dance to. And it was just so fun. So that's something that I want to get a little bit more in touch with again, and where I see my next kind of projects going towards is like, I just want that heavy dance music, that heavy bass feel. I love tech house right now, so like stuff by Fisher, Chris Lake, Walker and Royce, stuff like that. I want my audience to dance and have fun.
All right, so before we wrap this up, we're getting on to shout outs. Anybody want to shout out? Anybody out there?
That's a tough one, bro, because I love all my artists. I love everybody. I'm not just saying that. There's so much talent in the 805 that I feel like anybody that comes through here, so many people have the potential to have a great fucking song. And I'm always excited every time I go into work because I don't know, this person might come out with like the next big hit of the area. Yeah. And that's exciting to me, and that's awesome. And so I want to shout people out, but just purely from being scared of forgetting somebody, I'm hesitant to, because I love all of you guys. I love all of you guys. I believe in you. And I just, in fear of leaving anybody out, I just can't do it. So every single one of you, every artist of the 805, I wish you the best. I'm here for you. Let's make a hit. We can do it.
That's right. So there it is. The words from Mindoff Music right there. Come fuck with my boy Mindoff. He works some magic. He makes motherfucking magic straight up. I ain't just saying that shit. You guys never hear me promote nobody, but Mindoff, I fuck with you. So thank you for coming through, and appreciate you coming by.
Thank you for having me.